Good evening. Overnight, Iran launched a direct military assault against Israel, marking a dangerous escalation in their long-standing conflict. Hundreds of drones and ballistic missiles were fired from Iranian territory, targeting Israeli cities and military sites. Air raid sirens blared across Israel, sending millions rushing to shelters. This attack, codenamed True Promise, is Iran's response to a recent airstrike on its nuclear facility, widely attributed to the US and Israel. For decades, their conflict was fought in the shadows. Now, it's open warfare. Emergency UN sessions are underway as world leaders scramble to prevent a wider regional war. Israeli, American, and allied forces are working together to intercept the barrage. The coming hours will determine if this crisis can be contained or if it will ignite a much larger conflict. The world is watching, holding its breath.
The Israel Defense Forces reported a 99% interception rate, but even a handful of impacts spread fear among civilians. The attack turned the region's skies into a multinational battlefield.
Despite the robust defense, a few missiles broke through, causing explosions and panic.
Major cities like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, along with key military bases, were targeted. The Iron Dome and Allied air defenses lit up the night sky, intercepting most threats. US, UK, and Jordanian forces joined in, shooting down dozens of drones before they reached Israel.
Iran's assault began with waves of drones, followed by cruise and ballistic missiles, aiming to overwhelm Israel's defenses. The psychological impact is profound. Millions experienced a direct missile attack from Iran for the first time. Emergency protocols and psychological support are now in place. The sense of security in Israel has been shaken. This attack was meant to instill fear as much as cause physical damage.
Border towns near Lebanon remain deserted after weeks of proxy attacks, compounding the sense of crisis.
One tragic case, a young girl critically injured by shrapnel, underscores the human cost.
Iran demonstrated its ability to strike sensitive sites, sending a message to Israel and the world. Human casualties have been low, thanks to effective defenses and public preparedness.
As dawn breaks, the extent of the damage is clearer. The Nevatim air base in southern Israel was hit, sustaining infrastructure damage but remaining operational.
Iran's attack was triggered by a recent strike on its Natanz nuclear facility, blamed on the US and Israel. The strike set back Iran's nuclear program by years, prompting vows of retaliation. Iran claims its missile barrage was a measured act of self-defense, targeting military sites to avoid civilian casualties. This is the latest escalation in a long shadow war. Cyber attacks, assassinations, and proxy battles have now erupted into open conflict. The US role is central, with airstrikes on Iran's nuclear sites following failed diplomacy. Washington's policy: prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons by force if necessary. Iran's attack is a direct challenge to both Israel and the US, testing their resolve. The shadow war is now a direct confrontation.
The US Navy's Fifth Fleet stands ready to keep the Strait open, but any Iranian move could trigger direct military conflict. Closure would disrupt oil, gas, and global trade, risking recession and inflation worldwide. Gulf Arab states, Europe, and Asia would be hit hardest. The world's economic stability now hinges on decisions made in the Middle East. Leaders are racing to de-escalate before the crisis spirals further.
In response, Iran has threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical oil choke point. 1/5 of global oil passes through this narrow waterway daily. The threat alone has sent oil prices soaring and rattled global markets.
The stakes have never been higher.
The future is uncertain. Israel's response could trigger a wider war. The world watches, waiting for the next move in this high-stakes conflict. The coming days will shape the fate of the region and global security.
Israel's war cabinet debates its next move. Some urge massive retaliation, others caution restraint. Washington advises Israel to consider its successful defense a victory and avoid further escalation.
Russia and China urge all sides to de-escalate, blaming Western actions for provoking the crisis.
The world's response is divided. The US and Western allies condemn Iran's attack and reaffirm support for Israel while calling for restraint.